Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Mega Man X4. When I last left you guys, we'd finished up 5 of the 8 Maverick battles, the re-battles that is. And we're moving on to, let's do Jet Stingray real quick. You know what, let's do a slightly harder one, let's do Slash Beast. And we'll use Jet Stingray as one we can recharge on, so to speak. So I mentioned at the end of the last episode that I've been doing something that some of you might be a little bit annoyed by, and what I mean by that is, whoops, as I walk right into him. I've been kind of hinting at some things with regards to the story and the gameplay of this installment that some of you are either already familiar with or is blatantly obvious, and in some cases you're absolutely right. And I apologize if I'm, making it sound like I'm dancing around it or trying to insult anybody's intelligence. That is not at all the case. I'm trying to avoid giving away spoilers, even though this is, how old of a game? It came out in like 1997 or something. So 22 years old at this point, almost. Kind of ridiculous if you ask me, but at any rate, one of the things I'm talking about is the final boss of the game. A lot of people are like, well, duh, we know who it is already. Oh, jeez, he killed me. I thought I was going to get to him for that last little slash, but apparently it was not good enough. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? Yes, I understand that if you're a veteran of the X series, the end boss is obvious. You're absolutely right. And I'm not trying to avoid mentioning it for fear of sounding like everybody is stupid. I'm just, for people who are never seen this before, I don't want to ruin anything. Even though, again, it was very heavily hinted at in the opening sequence of this game. But rather than blatantly say it outright, I'm trying to avoid being that guy, I guess. And I'm sorry if that come across as me being, a jerk, or I'm trying to sound like you're all stupid and can't figure it out. I'm certain anybody who's watched this has figured out already what's going to be happening, but I'm not going to be blatantly calling it out until we get to that point, so sorry if that bugs you. I might refrain from doing that in the future installments of this, simply because it is very obvious after this point what's happening and who the main villain, I guess, is. Particularly with regards to X5, it's very, very obvious. X6, not quite as much, but I guess we'll get to that. At any rate, something else, too, that some people might be a little bugged about is when I talk about Zero's origins and how I've been skirting around that this whole time. And if I'm being totally honest, that one is definitely not something that one's a little more sensitive, because that is a major story spoiler, and you don't learn any of that stuff until this game. But you've seen Zero for 3 episodes already, or for 3 games already. You haven't played as him really up until this point, but Zero's origins is definitely a major point of contention, a major story spoiler, if you will. So I will not be ruining that until the appropriate time, when the game itself will be talking about it. So I'm sorry if you already know, and it's obvious from some of the things you've seen already. In some cases it is, but for those who haven't figured it out, or, don't quite understand what's going on, or don't want it ruined, I will not be ruining it, as I said again. So, that being said, all your fears will be put to rest very soon. We're going to be finding out just exactly what the true meaning behind all that stuff was in the very near future. So you don't have to wait too much longer, I promise. Something I'm noticing, too, is that if you recall back to I think the second or third episode of this I did, that there was a story spoiler hidden in the Maverick health bars, and I guess that's not exactly the case with all of them. Only certain ones have that spoiler in them. This one, for example, does not. He just has a Repliforce symbol on his health bar, so I guess it's not every Maverick that does that, just some of them. I don't know what the distinction is. I don't know why some of them are different, but maybe it was just a design oversight. I'm not sure. Needless to say, it's going to be becoming very obvious exactly what the problem was once we get to that point. But anyway, here's the last of the 8 Maverick bosses. This is Magma Dragoon. I have to fight him without the ride armor this time. Thankfully, I've got a full health bar. He's probably going to kill me at least once, considering if Slash Beast can, then certainly Dragoon can. He is, in my opinion, the hardest boss in this game. And that's just in general, by the way. That's not just including not just the 8 Mavericks, but all the bosses. He's one of the hardest because he's very, very fast, very unpredictable, and his attacks in a lot of cases are very difficult to dodge. Particularly his Hadouken attacks here and his flame kick, so to speak. Shoryuken's a little easier to dodge. He jumps around a lot too, which is really annoying. This attack's not hard to dodge because he telegraphs it very easily. Oh jeez. All right, enough with the Hadoukens, dude. Seriously. Oh, here it comes again. And now he's summoning that firestorm, I think. So I just gotta wail on him a little bit and do the Kuenbu attack because it not only attacks him, but it destroys the meteors that he's throwing at me as they fall. So, all right, if I get 1 or 2 more hits on him, I think we're good. Oh, thank God, that was close. All right, first try, I got Dragoon down. Thankfully, almost didn't, but yeah, him and Slash Beast, they're very fast, very unpredictable, and if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're about to get wrecked. So, all right, so that is all 8 of the Mavericks re-battled and defeated. So we can move on now to the final stage. You'll see I have 1 full sub-tank, but the other one is not so full. I might need to take a quick break and see if I can go find some health. That being said, I don't know where the best place to grind for said health is to do that, so I think we'll just jump right in and see if we can make it happen. I will say that the final boss is not, like, absurdly difficult, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think he's actually fairly easy. And, yep, you all guessed it. It's not a surprise, especially if you're watching the intro sequence. It is Sigma himself. Sigma here is looking like the Grim Reaper for some reason. They never really bothered to explain why that is. You're Sigma, so it was you. Well, yes, simply brilliant. Yeah, very smart of you. You even defeated Colonel and Iris. You made me do it, Sigma says. And Sigma's like, nope, you did it. Allow me to remind you that I was once the leader of the Maverick Hunters. So this is where we get a lot of really cool story exposition. This is what you know that this is the last cutscene in the game right here. Well, besides the outro, but this is a very interesting one, so I'm going to be quiet and let you all pay attention.
What's our current situation?
Commander!
Where's that red Maverick that wiped out Garma's unit?
Inside. He's inside that door.
You may leave now. I'll take care of this personally.
By yourself, Commander?
I don't want any more of my people being sacrificed.
Look, it's Commander Sigma. Incredible. Now I'm certain there's no one who's a match for the commander. What?
Take that red Maverick to the repair center and call Dr. Kane. I wish to have that Maverick studied.
Commander, are you okay?
Silence!
So yeah, that was the thing. Here's what's funny. I don't understand. So before that cutscene, Sigma even said, "It's like, I'm really remind you, I was once a Maverick Hunter." He's like, "Wait, you were a Maverick?" It's like, well, yeah, you knew that already. Like, why is this a surprise? I think this might have been some kind of mistranslation or something. But at any rate, so what happened was Sigma used to be the leader of the Maverick Hunters, and Zero himself was a Maverick. You'll notice, too, that in that cutscene, Zero did not have the little shoulder pauldrons that he has now. I'm not sure where he picked those up at, but he didn't have them in X1 either, or I don't think in X2 either. But from X3 onward, he does have them. So, at any rate, Zero's like, yeah, okay, what about it? Sigma, I will defeat you. So there's something else we got to see a little bit more expounded upon, apart from just the fact that Sigma's the final boss, and it was very obvious, but we'll talk about that more when it's actually explicitly called out. So this is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad, I think. Let's see how that did for energy. That didn't really put a large dent in my energy tank at all. So anyway, I think I can make this happen. We'll see. Not gonna quote myself on that one, but we'll see. Anyway, so Sigma here is the final boss. He actually comes in 3 different forms.
Prepare to become space dust.
Oh. Prepare to become space dust. So Reaper Sigma here is the first form, and he is vulnerable to the Rune Gene, which makes sense because he appears directly over top of you, and then he does that attack where he just kind of glides across with his scythe. And this form is pathetically easy because all you need to do is smack him with that a couple times, and then dodge this attack when he does it, and he won't hit you. So, not difficult in the slightest. And this, I think, what, three or four different iterations of this little sequence here, and he's taken down. So, if you do let him stand above you like that and don't attack him right away, he will drop fire on you. So now he sheds off the Reaper cloak, and here is his new battle form, which actually looks really freaking cool, if you ask me. He does retain the scythe for this next part of this fight. It's time for us to settle this. Alright, you got yourself a fight. As long as you stand behind him when he throws his scythe like that, it's not that threatening, really. And then stay on the wall like this behind him, and he's not going to hit you either. So this is not overly difficult battle. Certainly one of the easier Sigma final fights, I think. I'm getting hit a little too much as compared to what I would normally like to be getting hit. And you actually want him to throw the scythe on the wall as opposed to letting it land on the floor. Because if it lands on the floor, he'll do a different move where he'll fling the... you see he's got little shoulder spikes in his pauldrons. Those are actually little boomerangs. And if you let the scythe hit the floor instead of the wall, he'll fling them out at you, and they're very, very difficult to dodge. So I prefer to let him land the scythe on the adjacent wall and let him shoot eye lasers at you instead. That's much easier to dodge, in my opinion. And I really wish I knew how to properly dodge the stupid scythe when he throws it. I don't really want to have to waste an energy tank right now to avoid getting hit. But I got him anyway, so that's Form 1 down, or Form 2 rather. There's only one left. And this last form is not impossible, but it's a little bit difficult. So at any rate, we get a little bit of an energy pickup before the final fight. That being said, though, you all are unfortunately just going to have to wait. You know what? I lied. It's 15 minutes. We got one more fight, so let's just finish it. This will be the finale, ladies and gentlemen, so hopefully you've all been waiting patiently. I'm not going to make you sit through another thing of this, so let's go in right into it. I have one full energy tank and one partial one. You get a little bit of a health pickup here between fights, so that's nice of them. And this is Sigma's final form. He's like, "You are finished." Iris is waiting for you. Wow, you're a jerk.
Tremble with terror. You are finished.
So this form, I'm not going to say is ridiculously hard. It's not. But he alternates between a couple of different forms. He will do this deal here where he's this head on the floor. And the nice thing is you can use Slash Beast's technique and slash him in the face when he does that. And then he'll go to these floating heads that I don't really know. They're just kind of intermediary little encounters. They don't actually affect his health bar at all. And then you just kind of slash. He actually has... You have to defeat both forms independently. The head on the floor and this form here. So he actually effectively does have 2 life bars, not just 1. But this form here, as you can see, is considerably easier to damage and to defeat, so... This is the hardest one to dodge, in my opinion, this head here, the electric one. So I have 1 sub-tank. I think I'll be okay, actually. Whoops. I might have to use that real quick. Let's use the partially filled one first. Thankfully, the ratio of... Ow! The ratio of how much the energy tanks give you back in terms of health is a little bit better in this game as opposed to previous ones. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're only giving you 2 this time as opposed to 4. When he does that the end thing, you want to jump on top of the heads and get out of the way. Because that means he's about to dust the floor. Alright, I have 1 full tank. Let's use that. That'll get me back to full health. So I have 1 full health bar to take out, you know, not quite a full one of his. I did that wrong. Alright, that disembodied head's going to be a little harder to deal with. As opposed to the robot form here, this one. So you'll see he alternates between the disembodied head on the ground and then the heads, the colored heads by themselves, and then this robot body. But now that I've destroyed that one, he will no longer appear in that form. He'll just do this one instead. I keep doing that wrong. I need to get out of the way of that, unfortunately, and it's not easy. Ow! I don't actually want to hit these things. Alright, so, and actually he does 2 different attacks, as you can see, with each of the 2 forms he does. This one is a much harder to deal with, in my opinion. I'd rather he did the whole pushing you away with the wind thing, because then he doesn't actually directly throw anything at you. He's a little easier to hit with Shapuga. Whoa, alright, that was close. Okay, and you see he's doing the blue head a lot more often than the other one. The red one does do one too. It's like a fire attack, but we haven't really gotten a chance to see that very much. Oh, jeez, not again. I'm going to die. Because I didn't have a second full energy tank. God bless it. I got so close, too. Alright, sorry ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to have to see if I can back out and refill my tanks for the next fight. I don't want to go in without having any of them, because I'm going to get killed. There's no question about it. I don't have the ability to take him down without at least 1 full tank. So, I know I said this is going to be the finale, I lied. We're going to have to go into the next episode. I'm going to go refill real quick, and I will come back with full energy tanks, and we'll take him down this time, I promise. So, that being said, I appreciate you guys' patience. We're toward the end of it, and then we'll get to see all the story exposition, we'll get to see all the fun stuff at the end, and you'll get to understand just all the supposition behind everything still right you're seeing. So, until next time, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.